From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning of March 18th as third stimulus checks of $1,400 continue to land in bank accounts by direct deposit and by direct express card today. Yes, some viewers received the direct deposit of their $1,400 third stimulus check yesterday, March 17th, but more will receive it today, March 18th, and more tomorrow, March 19th. I'll have all the details and more. Meantime, what did the Federal Reserve say about stimulus yesterday? I have that breaking video. Snap makes a major purchase and it could impact your shopping online. Ford makes a major announcement and its announcement could impact the way in which you work. The president receives an incredible gift on St. Patrick's Day, and I have that detail as well. And meantime, Dr. Fauci gives you an update about the pandemic. Meantime, I have all the list of banks that paid stimulus checks yesterday and which ones may pay stimulus checks today. Across the board, there's a lot happening. The toast is toasting, and I'm here, you're here. But what is else happening? Well, some other stimulus could be landing as well. The toast is toasting, the coffee is brewing, the butter is buttering, and yet I just don't see any bacon. I just don't know what to do about this bacon. Thank you for joining me as Early Mornings LA starts right now. Good morning, and how are you? It's the day after St. Patrick's Day, and hope you're doing well. I hope you had the luck of the Irish yesterday. If you did not, the luck of the Irish might be coming to you today. That would be the direct deposit of a $1,400 third stimulus check for today, March 18th, 2021. How are you? Good morning. The toast is toast and the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here. And you could have a wonderful, delicious $1,400 third stimulus check in your account today by direct deposit. Who would that be? I have all those details for you as well. I'll go over every bank. I'll go over the direct express card. I'll go over what's happening, if you're on SSI and SSDI or not. I'll also be going over breaking news video from the White House, the Federal Reserve, Ford, and also the CDC and Dr. Fauci. Really exciting, great news. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. If you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link is at the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. Liking the video really helps. The more likes you help, the higher the video ranks. Yes, make sure you try to get to like 5,000, 7,000 likes. And if you can give some bacon, it's really appreciated. Yesterday, we had an incredible pouring of help from viewers across the board as they delivered information about which banks were paying and which banks weren't paying. And guess what? I got the list for you right now. You ready? These were the banks that paid stimulus checks yesterday. They were Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, Citizens Bank, PNG, Bancorp and Chime, PayPal, NetSpeed, MetaBank, Green Dot, People's United, U.S. Bank, PNC, Capital One, and Navy Federal. Among the banks that did not pay the stimulus check yesterday were Comerica Bank and the Direct Express card when underwritten by Comerica Bank. We learned a lot yesterday. Among the strange things we learned is that some Direct Express cards are underwritten by different banks, depending on where you live. When the Direct Express card was underwritten by Wells, recipients of the Direct Express card got the stimulus check yesterday. But when the Direct Express card was underwritten by Comerica, they did not get the Direct Express card payment of the $14 third stimulus check yesterday. So it likely would land today. So what should you expect throughout the day? And if you're watching this recording at 4 a.m. on the West Coast, 7 a.m. on the East Coast, and you have yet to see a direct deposit, don't worry, the day is early. I'm live with you all day long, including at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and all the hours after that as we watch the deposits hit. Now, this is what you need to know. Yesterday, direct deposits started to hit throughout the day. The list of the banks that you heard me read minutes ago, it started with just 2 at the early part of the day. Then it went to 4, then it went to 6, then it went to 8. These banks slowly came in throughout the day. They weren't all at the same time. They weren't all at the morning. Moreover, at the end of the day, of those banks, I had countless viewers who also bank at those banks and had not received the stimulus check. If that's you, don't worry, your bank account direct deposit would likely land today or tomorrow and may even land next week. So what's important to know about the deposit itself? And what's important to know about when or where the stimulus check would land? What's important to understand is that the President of the United States made the message very loud and clear early this week. His message was, all stimulus checks will land within 10 days of it becoming law. And that includes paper checks. 10 days is the end of next week from when it became law. So the worst case scenario is you're seeing the stimulus check by the end of next week. Do not worry. I'll have more about those details in a second. But big breaking news from Ford as Ford announces that 88,000 of its employees may continue to work at home. Kirsten Robinson, Ford's chief people and employee experience officer, said that there's one thing we've learned over the last 12 months is there's a lot of assumptions that go around with work and employees' needs have shifted, meaning that some workers may be able to work remotely. Snap made a major purchase yesterday. Snap acquired Fit Analytics, the Berlin company that helps consumers pick the clothing they want. This is Evan Siegel, head of Snap, and he led the purchase of that online retailer that could help determine how you bank, how you shop. But let's cut back to that third stimulus check of $1,400. This is what you need to know. These are the people that would likely receive it by direct deposit. People receive the first stimulus check by direct deposit and the second stimulus check by direct deposit. People who have a Direct Express card that receive their benefits every month on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits by Direct Express deposit. People who are on benefits like SSI and SSDI but receive their deposits into a bank account or checking account. And similar situations like this. Now, this is also what I need you to understand, is that yesterday there was a lot of very bad urban legends, fake stories left and right. So I got to answer them right away. Here are the really bad fake stories that circulated yesterday. 1, someone said that children aren't getting stimulus checks. Very untrue. Another person said no one on SSI or SSDI is getting a stimulus check. Also untrue. Another person said all the direct deposits, some of the direct deposits are starting to go out tomorrow. Also untrue. All direct deposits went out last Friday, but it's taking time for certain banks to process the direct deposits. Another person said paper checks won't land to April. Also really untrue. The president made the statement in the video I showed yesterday on Early Mornings LA that all stimulus checks will be landing in either bank accounts or mailboxes by 10 days after it became law, which is the end of next week. But I'll have more for you in a second about where you should look for those multiple stimulus checks. Did I say multiple stimulus checks? Yeah, I did. Where you should look for that stimulus check, the third stimulus check. Now, the 4 stimulus checks, you better look for those multiple ones because Democrats from both the House and the Senate are pushing for reoccurring stimulus checks. What do they want? They want a lot more than $1,400. And if it sounds very rich, it's not. Guess what? This president wants to go very big and bold. A new interview with the president last week reveals that the president wants to spend $3,000 a year for children under the age of 18 for 18 years. The president's not afraid to spend money. And now the push is underway for this president to give you stimulus checks every month until the end of the year at $2,000 a month approximately, which would be $12,000 to $16,000. This is huge. This is more than SSI or SSDI. This is more than Hazard Pay. And this is more than FPUC Retro. And guess what happened yesterday? The huge, shocking, great news is that this man, Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, told the American people in the FOMC meeting notes, which you heard me talk about for 3 days, that this economy is far from rebounded, that this economy needs support, that this economy does not have inflation, that this economy does not have a cured unemployment situation. Rather, he said 2% unemployment, that the 2% inflation, that unemployment needs to be fixed, and we need to stimulate the economy. Here's what he said in a video late yesterday.
Recovery will be as strong as possible and to limit lasting damage to the economy. We are strongly committed to achieving the monetary policy goals that Congress has given us: maximum employment and price stability. The economic fallout has been real and widespread, but with the benefit of perspective, we can say that some of the very worst economic outcomes have been avoided by swift and forceful action from Congress, from across government, and in cities and towns across the country. More people held on to their jobs, more businesses kept their doors open, and more incomes were saved as a result of these swift and forceful policy actions. And while we welcome these positive developments, no one should be complacent. At the Fed, we will continue to provide the economy the support that it needs for as long as it takes. Today, the FOMC kept interest rates near zero and maintained our sizable asset purchases. These measures, along with our strong guidance on interest rates and on our balance sheet, will ensure that monetary policy will continue to deliver powerful support to the economy until the recovery is complete.
What the Federal Reserve is saying here is that no change is occurring, that we are not changing our policy at the Federal Reserve. We are continuing to support this economy with stimulus, and that this economy is not rebounded. This is huge, great news, because this is basically what the Bernie Sanders, the Ed Markey, what the Ron Wyden of the Senate or House want. They want to hear that the Federal Reserve thinks that this economy is far from rebounded and that you need reoccurring stimulus. The Federal Reserve's comments are: we're keeping interest rates at zero, we're not changing our buying to support this economy, and that the Federal Reserve believes that this economy will not rebound this year. This is a consistent message of the Federal Reserve over the last few months. But now we see that the Federal Reserve is renewing its vocal statement to the American people: this economy needs support.
The path of the economy continues to depend significantly on the course of the virus and the measures undertaken to control its spread. Since January, the number of new cases, hospitalizations, and deaths has fallen, and ongoing vaccinations offer hope for a return to more normal conditions later this year. In the meantime, continued observance of social distancing measures and wearing masks will help us reach that goal as soon as possible. The economic recovery remains uneven and far from complete, and the path ahead remains uncertain.
But as he left that message, we also had another message. And that message came from Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci addressed the public yesterday and explained that the situation is not where it needs to be.
Since the beginning of the pandemic,
that we still have to remain attentive to the situation, and that we have to remain attentive that the virus may continue to spread, especially with variants. Here's a question asked by April Wyan of Dr. Fauci about Johnson & Johnson and the impact of the vaccine as the virus continues to spread.
Issue of children and vaccinations. What is the current research showing right now as it relates to vaccinating school-age children? And I ask that because I'm hearing from doctors that there is a concern about the possible change in the genetic profile by 2 of the vaccinations versus the Johnson & Johnson. If you can give me a comment on all of that, all of the above. Thank you.
Dr. Fauci?
Yeah, thank you, Andy. Thank you for that question, April. Right now, there are a couple of studies from multiple companies looking at vaccines in children. Just to let everybody know where we are, the vaccine studies that are done right now are looking at both safety and immunogenicity It's not looking for vaccine efficacy signals because you would need tens of thousands of people in those trials. We're trying to do bridging studies to show comparable immunogenicity at the same time of looking at safety. We will know answers to that for high school level individuals by the time we get to the fall. And when you do an age de-escalation in younger children, we just started a study with Moderna literally this past week, in which we're going to do age de-escalation from 12 to 9, 9 years to 6 years, 6 years to 2 years, and 6 months to 2 years. We're going to be looking at
the news, as you see here, is that while schools are reopening, is the vaccine effective for those individuals? As you start the new day, there's big updates about where that $1,400 third stimulus check could land. And it could land today, but what hour today? And what about paper checks? Could it land by paper check? Yes, I have those shocking details about where, when it could land today, and also the surprise that it could appear by paper check next week. And I have all those details for you right after this commercial break in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. There's a lot of big news across the board, and that news concerns your stimulus. $14 third stimulus checks could land in your bank account today, but what time today? And where should you track them, and how should you track them? I have all the big details for you right now. How are you? The toast is toasting and the butter is buttering, and here I am. But just where's my bacon? Where is my bacon? I'm looking. I can't find the bacon. Do you have the bacon? How are you? If you did not receive a stimulus check yesterday, it could land today, and it could land anytime today. This is an important message I got to deliver. The stimulus check deposits occurred all yesterday long. It occurred in the morning, it occurred at noon, it occurred in the afternoon. It just started at different times. And with the same bank, different people at different times of the day. So if you're watching this video and you still don't see a stimulus check, don't lose hope. It may be later today. In fact, it may be tomorrow. But this is the message I'm delivering to viewers. Consider all the places in which it may be, not just one. Don't think narrowly, think broadly. For example, may it be in another bank account, direct deposit? May it be, are you a dependent on someone's tax return? It might be on their bank account, or it may be in their mailbox. Or what if you have a second bank account? Is it in that one? Look everywhere. If you believe it's only in one account and only one account only, you may be setting yourself up for trouble. Let me explain why. In the second stimulus in December, I had countless viewers who got the first stimulus in March of 2020 by direct deposit and said, you know, my second stimulus is coming from direct deposit as well. And then did it. And then showed up in the mail Yes, this was a surprise, and this is the only thing you're going to hear from this channel over the next few days, and you're not going to hear it anywhere else. In a very smallly reported article of December 2020, IRS said that for some reason, it never knows why. Some people expecting direct deposit stimulus check get it by paper check, not by direct deposit. Yes. So your direct deposit stimulus check, if it does not show up by about the early part of next week, make sure you do not go quickly through the mail through all of next week, because it may have your stimulus check in the mail. This is what you need to know. If you don't see your stimulus check by direct deposit today, don't worry, it may be tomorrow. But by the middle or early part of next week, you need to really be careful every day you get the mail. Look at it carefully, because it might be slid in there. You might be getting your stimulus check by paper check. IRS said there's absolutely no explanation why it comes by paper check for some, and for other people, it doesn't. It does come from direct deposit. Even though you have the direct deposit set up, don't be surprised if it comes in that different way. Now, yesterday, viewers were asking me, what about the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI? There is no push for that this moment, but there is a push for the reoccurring stimulus checks. What's important to understand is that reoccurring stimulus checks has the support of the Democrats, and those reoccurring stimulus checks would pay you upwards of $12,000 if you're on SSI, more than $2,400, a lot more, 6 times the amount. But the push is still underway for student loan debt forgiveness. That was what Elizabeth Warren did earlier this week. And here's a recent message from Elizabeth Warren explaining the significance of student loan debt forgiveness.
It means there are lots of people who aren't moving out from their parents' homes, lots of people who aren't buying their own homes. And one of the other things the data shows, lots of people who are not starting their own businesses. And all of those things hold back our economy. And I make that point because I'm sure there are lots of folks who are on this call tonight who don't have student loan debt. But here's the deal. Even if you don't have student loan debt, you will be helped by seeing student loan debt canceled because it will help our economy. This is one of those things that doesn't have to go through Congress. The authority is already there in law for the president and his team, the administration, the Secretary of Education, to cancel out this student loan debt. And President Obama used it to cancel some student loan debt. President Trump used it to cancel some student loan debt. I want to see President Biden use it. If he would cancel $50,000 in student loan debt, it would make an enormous difference in the lives of tens of millions of Americans and help build our entire nation a stronger future going forward. So, as you know, I'm all in on this one. And if we could persuade the president, we could do this one fast.
Well, what might help persuade the president is this. Yesterday, the President of the United States received a gift
late today
from
the New York Times
Ireland.
obtaining information
And let's see
on
what that
President
wonderful
Trump's
gift for
tax
St. Patrick's Day
While
was.
many of you were shelling out money to the IRS every April, the president was not.
Totally fake news.
When I was reading this story,
And here we go.
And in the meantime, I want to thank you for the Shamrock Bowl. I don't know whether you can see it here, but it's a great tradition, a custom that goes all the way back to Harry Truman, who have a bust of Harry Truman over in that corner. I noticed he didn't move to grab any of the Shamrocks. And tonight, Taoiseach, I hope you'll be able to see it at least remotely. We're going to light up the White House in green. To celebrate the deep affection that we Americans have, particularly Irish Americans have for Ireland and the people of Ireland. And it includes millions of Americans like my great-great-grandfather and my great-grandfather and my grandfather, all of whom were Irish Americans on both sides of the family. my grandfather, Ambrose Finnegan, who was a great football player, American football, and a newspaper man back at the turn of the 20th century, used to always say when he was much older and I'd walk out of his home, he'd say, "Joey, remember, the best drop of blood in you is Irish." I remembered it, I promise you. And because if I didn't, my grandmother, Geraldine Blewett Finnegan, would take me down.
And there you are. A little bit of luck of the Irish. And hopefully the luck of the Irish is with you today as well. Hopefully your $14 stimulus check lands today as well. I'll be live with you throughout the day. And it's important for you to know, if you're just joining me, is the following. The following banks paid $14 stimulus checks yesterday. They were Citizens Bank, PNG, Bancorp, Bank Chime, PayPal, NetSpeed, Green Dot, People's United Bank, US Bank, PNC, Capital One, MetaBank, Navy Federal, Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank America. If you bank with those banks, you may receive it today as well. If you bank with Express Card and their underwriter is Wells Fargo, you may receive it as well. Meantime, no viewers yesterday received it from Comerica Bank or Express Card when underwritten by a Comerica Bank. So today may be the very big day for all of you. As Americans awake after a night of St. Patrick's Day, what could they see? Well, yesterday after a couple green beers, maybe they saw multiple stimulus checks. And maybe they had too many green beers, they saw a lot of multiple stimulus checks. Blame it on the alcohol. But hopefully in the next weeks to come, you will see multiple stimulus checks as well, just without the need of green beer. Thank you for joining me on Early Mornings LALATE, and thank you for inviting Early Mornings LALATE back into your life and your family. I'm back next with you with Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. As the excitement continues, as big updates across the board for your reoccurring stimulus checks, for your student loan debt forgiveness, for your excitement about what's happening else at the White House, and also for the final arrival of the big money that millions of Americans are wondering, that stimulus check. As America excitingly accepts that wonderful bowl from Ireland. And thank you for joining me.
We have a lot of great.
Thank you for joining me on a big Early Mornings LALATE, and hope you are good and safe. And if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a great Early Mornings LALATE, and stay with LALATE for more.